hear this message. So I'm just going to go on my wall, and then anyone who wants to access this can access it. I'm so excited. You know, we're coming up on a new year, and I just hopped off of a corporate call. We do a power hour with our company, and I was asked to come on and talk, and there were, you know, I had to keep it short, but there were a couple things that really kept coming up for me. And one of the things that I said that I really want to just first put out here is that I always have a love-hate relationship with the new year. And here's why. One, and tell me in the comments if do you create a New Year's resolution, or are you completely against them? I asked this last year and my feed was like a 50-50 split. But, you know, so tell me if you set a New Year's resolution or not. And I'm going to tell you this. You all know I preach on my page about this all the time. It's a message that I share constantly, is that every waking moment that you are living your life is an opportunity to change. It is an opportunity for growth, and you get to decide right then and there. And so let's say you wake up at 9 a.m. in the morning and you go to sleep at 9 p.m. at night. You can decide at 8:55 at night that you are going to change that day. And for those last 5 minutes, you can decide what is going to be different in your life, right? And so the hate part of New Year's is that we have these nudges, we have these desires, we have this inner knowing that something has to change in our lives, but we think, well, New Year's is next week, or New Year's is in 2 weeks. So starting in the new year, I'm going to do this. Or how many of us do the whole starting on Monday, I'm going to start my new diet, or starting on Monday, I'm going to get back to the gym, right? We don't need the first of a month. We don't need a Monday. We don't need the first of a year. We don't need a specific day or time to make that decision. If you have that nudge and you have that desire, that is the time for you to make that decision and start showing up as that every single day. But here's the part that I do love. I do love that it's a lot similar to the kids' first day of school, right? Do you remember, if you have kids, you were a kid, your first day of school in a new year, right? And whether you were coming back from Christmas break or you were coming back from a summer break, you were coming back, you had all your new clothes, your new book bag, your new sneakers, you had all your new toys you got to tell your friends about, right? And so I always told my kids, this is an opportunity for us to show up in a new way and decide, I'm coming back and I'm stepping through those doors as this new version of me, right? And we do that, and it's like the clothes are new, the sneakers are new, the book bag is new, the toys are new, the little gadgets are new, you had your new phone, you had all your new things. But then after like a month, it gets old. And we do the same thing with our New Year's resolutions, which is, again, where the hate comes in, because it's like we set these New Year's resolutions, but they're not realistic. They're not really what we want. It's like, I know something needs to change. I'm going to wait until the first, then I'm going to try to change it. And we kind of let that energy fizzle out. But if you step into that power right now, when that nudge and that desire comes up for you, and you decide right now to make that change, you can make these small changes along the way. You can make one small change every single day that is going to ripple into these massive transformations by the end of the next year. However, the whole world around us, the entire collective right now, is in this change, resolution, showing up in a new way kind of energy. And so when you decide, this is where we get to have fun. This is where everyone in the entire world is stretching themselves outside of their comfort zones. This is where everyone is like stepping into the unknown of getting to the gym, going on a diet, making changes in their lives. And it's not so far out of the norm for you to show up and say, I am committing to this in this year. I am going to make this change. It's not so scary because everyone is making those changes right now. So that's the part that I love, is it takes that pressure. There's a little bit of relief in showing up, because everyone wants to show up in the new year, right? So what we can do is we can reflect back on 2021, probably 2020 also, because let's face it, these last couple of years have all just been a blend together, right? But we can reflect back on that time, and we can really evaluate, you know, and I said this on the call too, where I talked about how many times in your life, and tell me in the comments here, how many times in your life have you ever thought to yourself, man, if I knew then what I know now, right? And it's such a common thing for us to think like, gosh, if I think back to when I was a teenager, if I knew then what I know now, the things I would have done differently, right? But we get to do that. We get to reflect every single day. You can have that same thought process about yesterday going into today. You can look at it. It is 2:15 my time. I can think back to this morning and think, man, what lessons have I learned today? What things have I experienced today? What things have frustrated me or empowered me or excited me today that I had no idea was coming? Right. And I think to myself, had I known then what I know now, I would have done this. Right. So we can reflect on the day before, the year before, the decade before. We always have the opportunity to do this. So this is your invitation to really look back and realize, you know what? I do know now what I didn't know then. And here is what I'm going to change. And it's not scary for me to show up and make this change right now because everybody else around me is doing it. But I'm going to be different. I'm going to be different because I'm going to commit to something that's actually going to be meaningful in my life. You guys, everybody is committing to weight loss, health goals, fitness goals, financial goals, relationship goals. Everybody is. Everybody's clearing things out. They're creating space for the new year. Everybody is in this same energy. But we get to be different if we take this a step further. You get to decide by taking it a step further that you are going to commit to something much deeper than that. It has nothing to do with the external. It's the internal. What are you changing within you? You know, I want you to think December of 2022. Where do you want to be at that time? And you get to decide right now today that you are going to step into that role. You're going to step into that woman. You're going to step into that man, and you are going to embody that energy, that desire today. So if you want to be someone who is more confident, someone who goes live, and I'm just talking about social media because that's where we're at. But if you want to be that person, if you want to be a leader, if you want to have influence, if you want to take your business to the next level, your career to the next level, if you want to have healthier relationships, you don't have to wait until December of 2022 to start creating boundaries, to start setting new intentions, to start evaluating what worked and what didn't. You can start that today. So if you're someone that says in 2022, I want to, wake up earlier, I want to be happier, I want to have balance, you want to do all these things, you can start showing up as that version of yourself right now today. You don't have to wait. And that's the beauty of the free will that we have in this life, is that we get to decide at any given moment, and we get to take that into every single moment of every single day. We get to commit to that change, and we get to do it. We get to embody it right now. And so there's like all this talk around this phrase, fake it till you make it, right? And I get it. Nobody wants to be fake. I definitely do not recommend showing up being fake, right? And this is something that I tell, I was going to talk about this with my team, is that systems are duplicatable. People are not. So when you're reevaluating what has transpired for you over this past month, this past year, this past decade in your life, in your career, in your business, you have to really evaluate, are you trying to duplicate what someone else has done? Or are you really ready to step into your truth, into your purpose, into your message, into your soul confidence? And what I mean by soul confidence is that you have it is like an unshakable belief. You have so much faith in showing up with this message in this way because you are so sure at your core that this is what you are meant to be doing. This is what you are meant to be saying. And if you're not working your life or your business or your career in that way, you are duplicating a person. You are duplicating what you see in other people. This person says to show up in this way, so I have to do that. When you're watching people around you have success, they are just your permission. They are just your proof of what is attainable for you, what is possible for you. But their journey is not going to be the same. How many of us have looked at a person, and tell me in the comments, how many of us have looked at another person's life at any point in your life and thought, man, I wish I had her life, right? I mean, I think we're all guilty of that at some point. So if you're not commenting that that's you, I don't think you're telling the truth. But how many times have you looked at a situation and thought, man, I wish that were me? We want the end result, but we never want the journey. We never want that person's problems. We don't want the triumphs and we want the triumph, but we don't want the trials. We don't ever want to face the darkness that they've had to face. We don't want the healing that they've had to go through, but we just want their outcome. So you're trying to duplicate what you're seeing in another person. So when I say systems are duplicatable, people are not, you want to try to duplicate the system. So the system is that person showed up every day. But if you're showing up in a way that they are, you're just speaking their truth. You're not really speaking yours. Now, things can resonate, but not a single one of us has the same mission, the same truth, the same medicine as the next person does. So when you're trying to duplicate what another person is doing, we've all heard the saying, comparison is the thief of joy. So when you're watching what other people are doing and wishing that that were you, you're robbing yourself of your own joy, your own peace, your own harmony, your own feelings of abundance and success. You're robbing yourself of that. Now, you can look at another person and see what they've achieved, and you can celebrate them, and you can use that as your proof of what is possible for you as well. But you have to commit and decide that you're going to do it in your way. So as you walk into this new year, I invite you to step into that role of you. Step into that role of who you are. Do things in your way, not their way. Duplicate the system of showing up every day. Duplicate the system of this is the link we use, or this is the method that we use. However, when I'm having a conversation, when I am sharing my message, when I am telling my story, I'm telling my story. I'm going to share my message. I'm speaking from my heart, from my soul, because if I'm speaking from someone else's vision and someone else's heart, it's not my truth, and it's not going to resonate. We're not going to, attract those people into our lives. And again, this can apply to your business. This can apply to your friendships, your relationships, but the energy that you're exuding is what you're going to get back into the room, right? Back into your space. So you have to decide, are you showing up when you reflect back on your life? Are you showing up in a way that is true to you, or are you doing what society has told you you should be doing? Are you doing things in a way that you are, if you're in the industry that I am in, are you doing things in a way that your upline or your sponsor, or these other leaders that made it to the top, are you doing things the way that they do them? Or are you willing to step out on faith with a soul level confidence and just do what you do? Do things your way. A lot of times, sometimes I hesitate. I used to hesitate to get on these trainings and speak because I would think some of these leaders are going to hate me after I say what I have to say. Because a lot of times people are like, hustle and grind, hustle and grind. It's a very masculine driven. You have to do this. You have to do this. I don't believe in that. I believe in you should work less. You should take a day and go do some self-care. Go get a massage and do all of this. Don't show up every single day on social media. That's social media tends to feel like a chore for people sometimes, but they're doing it because they think they're supposed to. You should touch your business once a day, but you don't have to do what that person does. You have to do what feels right and what feels true to you. Your success in your family or in your business is yours, right? And so we look at these other people and we think, I have to do what they're doing if I want to have what they have, the system, but you can't do it the way they did it. You cannot be them. And it is not until you truly decide to step into yourself and your own truth, your own way of being, your own way of doing things. It is not until then that you're going to truly start to feel the abundant flow of success or prosperity or happiness or peace or joy in your life or love in your life, because you're speaking and living and doing through a lens of someone else. So when you truly step into who you are as a person and doing things in your own way, now is a great time, because everybody is expecting you to show up in this new version of yourself, but you get to be different because you get to keep being that version. You get to be a part of your soul's evolution, not your egos. So you get to step into this new light, this new way of being in the new year, and you get to continue on that journey. You don't have to be like everybody else where you're going to say, I'm going to go to the gym because that's what everybody does. But 2 weeks in, I'm going to be done with the gym because I don't really want to do that. I don't really want to eat like that, but I feel like I should. This is the time of year everybody does that. And that's what everybody else wants to do. So I guess I should do that. No, I'm not going to the gym. I'm not committing to that. I'll eat a little bit cleaner just because I need to get rid of all this holiday stuff out of me. But you won't see me for 1 minute committing to going to the gym and doing all these things, because that is not true for me. But I used to be that person. I used to think I have to set a New Year's resolution. I'd rack my brain to try to think, what is my resolution? I don't even have one. Why? Because I always knew in my soul, in my heart, that I didn't need a reason. I didn't need a date to make that decision. So when you truly tap into that within yourself, do you want to make a New Year's resolution? Do you want to make a change? If you do, great. But what is the change you truly want to make? Make it for you. And when you get to show up as this new version of yourself, there's no fear around it. There's no anxiety around it because you get to just be this new version of you because everybody expects it right now. But like I said, you get to be different because you get to continue on that path and keep being this new version of you. You don't have to fall off in 2 weeks, but you can give yourself grace if you do, right? So I just wanted to share this message with all of you as we're getting into the new year. I want you all to realize that you do not have to wait until the 1st. You do not have to wait until the Monday after the 1st. You do not have to wait until the weekend is over the following month. You don't have to wait for that to decide to change what you want to change in your reality. You have the choice, you have the option and the power to make that change today. So really reflect back. Decide on who it is that you want to be, how you want to be that way. How do you want to present yourself to this world? How do you want to show up as a mother, as a father, as a business owner, as an employee, as a friend in your community? How do you want to show up? And just start showing up as that today. Truly embody the energy of that desire and watch how everything else around you will continue to unfold and fall into alignment with that dream. And by the end of next year, I promise you, not only if you stay on that path, not only will you have achieved that dream, but you will have achieved so much more. I love you all. I thank you so much for all your love and support on here all of the time. And I truly hope that you have the most amazing new year. And I will talk to everybody soon.